Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
And I am here. Ah, man. Disney Plus is too. And man, this is well worth the wait. Look at all this. My childhood and my teens are all together in one. I knew this was well worth the wait. Especially by taking a 2-week break here. But however, I hope this doesn't become a new addiction for me, because you know what they say, when you trade up one addiction, chances are you're going to have another one soon enough. Who am I kidding? Moral guardians are too smart for that stuff, right? Because you can't just get addicted to... Oh my god, is that the Spider-Man series from 1981? Of course, I'm not old enough to care about that, but I knew this show existed. I knew I wasn't crazy. But then again, enough worrying about intellectual properties right now, because I'm back! Welcome to the J-Man Show here on J360 Radio.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
How's it going, J360 Legion? Ha ha! Yes! November 16th is always going to be the anniversary of the J-Man Show. And would you believe that this show has been running for 3 years? It has officially became 3 years. So, now, let's do something special about this, outside of it being an anniversary and all. I would like to say that, you know, the Monster Fest usually ends the old season, and the anniversary episode starts a whole new season. So you can consider that last Monster Fest episode the end of Season 3, whereas this starts Season 4, which is interesting. Because I did go on a mid-season break, right? Or am I totally messing all these rules up? And I hope I am, because, you know, how some of y'all cannot handle change, or you can't handle that things are taken out of place, and I understand, because I'm one of y'all too, but I sure hope that somebody over there is really feeling the pinch on that, because if I didn't piss somebody off now and again, I wouldn't be J-Man, right? Or, no, technically, if I didn't inspire anybody along the way, I wouldn't be J-Man. The pissing off part is something else, but it is what it is. But man, I'm telling you this, I certainly didn't miss nothing while I was on break, because I see pretty much that society is still going for that downward spiral. I mean, always never go up, right? It always has to be that downward motivation. You know what I mean? Get to the point where you're below dung and cesspools and all sorts of other things. Just get to that point where, you know, you're not exactly garbage, but you're a form of pollution that should not even be there, you know? It's crazy to me that we're even in this predicament now. I mean, nowadays, instead of treating people with respect, you have people beating each other up for a chicken sandwich. You know, and you can look at Popeyes, you can blame Popeyes all you want, but you see, there's a little thing called social responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really shouldn't need to feel like you gotta go into a riot frenzy because you can't get a chicken sandwich at Popeyes. You know, you can go anywhere to get a damn chicken sandwich. A long time ago, it wasn't even a big deal. But now, you got people saying the N-word again, and then we're talking about more race issues. And then, of course, you got everybody sitting there on their talk shows talking about, how can we get past this? How can we put a stop to all this trouble in the world? And it's like, simple. Don't start nothing. Remember, don't start no ish, won't be no ish? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to people just actually, you know what, staying out of the limelight for a change? I mean, while I do like the way we got new technology and we're able to film and produce and create content, I don't care about the limits or how far people will go to produce that content. They just need to have people acting like a fool all the time. I mean, when I go to Popeyes, I shouldn't have to be looking behind my back and all that kind of stuff. I should be thinking that, hey, I'm in a chicken establishment. All these other people are in a chicken establishment. Why? Because we want to buy some damn chicken. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, if they don't have the chicken sandwich, fine. I'll just buy the 3 strips meal and go home and take out a thing of dinner rolls and just put them in that. Or no, I get biscuits, right? So I just take the biscuits and I put the chicken tender right in between the biscuit and just eat that. I made my own damn chicken sandwich. And then while I'm at it, I go ahead and put a little barbecue sauce or whatever, and then that's called the J-Man Special. Even though there's many variations of those, so, you know, it's not exactly original. But the fun part about this stuff is that, you know, when you look at other people, at least you feel better about yourself, right? Because that's not you. But then there comes the chance where you might think it could be you, because it don't take long for somebody's nonsense to go ahead and merge in with where you're trying to get things done. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, like, if you had a point A to point B goal, chances are somebody comes up out of nowhere with all their negativity and nonsense they didn't take the time to solve, and then they try to mix it in with yours, and then all of a sudden now it becomes your problem that this moron over here couldn't get a damn chicken sandwich, even though he could have went to Chick-fil-A, could have went to KFC, Arby's. Nobody talks about Arby's. I'm the only one that talks about Arby's and their chicken sandwich. But then here comes McDonald's, you know, the people who can't even get their ice cream machine fixed or anything maintained on their stock, and then they say they got a new chicken sandwich. So apparently the chicken wars never really left us behind, but there really shouldn't be a thing of chicken wars anyway because of the way people are. I see it all the time. It's just like, you know, there's a meme that floats around that shows like an African stereotype of us all looking like we're very much cooning, and that's kind of the way it is. It's like you're seeing that crap right now in front of you. It's like this, we're supposed to kill that stereotype, you know? We're not supposed to be about that crap, but then again, we got our rich and successful African-American folks out there who don't really care about the race or the movement, and they're not really speaking out anything unless it involves them personally. I mean, I heard something on another radio station not too long ago about how Alicia Keys' son has his nails painted and all that stuff. It's like, once again, see, I don't have any kids, but even I got to chime in a little bit. You know, human nature really does start at a young age and stuff. So if that kid talks about how he's getting picked on or whatever, everybody's like, you know, we should work on the acceptance of others and yada, yada, yada. Yes, I get that. But you see, when you're at that age, you know, the kids usually have their own way of doing things. All right? They're not about that acceptance crap. Hell, some people aren't to this day. I think there's a lot of adults out here that are still kids in their mind because they never really grew. You know, Arrested Development. And even to this day, I just shake my head at it, man. I really do. Because it's like, you know, when you get to that point where you make a conscious decision, like when you're like, not necessarily 13 or whatever, but maybe if you're like 16 or something like that and you start growing into your own, like, nobody's really, it seems like these young kids are not really having that much fun anymore, and they're not really having a lot of, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's like that kind of stuff is too early for certain kids. At least for my standard. I mean, if you want to raise your kids some way, fine, that's on you. But if it was something of mine, I would look at them and I'd be like, you know what? Not yet. Not yet. I don't know what the hell the far left is talking about, but right now, they're not responsible for feeding and clothing you. I am. You see what I'm saying? And if anybody will sit there and want to counter me on this level, I mean, think about it. Like I said, that is the way you raise them. That's the way you deal with it. But you see, if it's something of mine, I know damn better. I remember my childhood. And I'm sure a lot of you all remember your childhoods. Weren't a lot of people dicks then too? And you probably had to fight out there in the playground a bunch of times. But at least you won a lot. I know I did. But, like, things didn't really get stupid until you got all of the people the powers that be involved. Because they don't know how to solve their own issues. And God knows, when I went to work the past couple of weeks, not even doing J360 responsibilities or whatever, I pretty much saw I didn't miss much. It's still a giant daycare center filled with adults in there that, like, the people who really want to get stuff done, they don't have a shot. They get annoyed by the powers that be because they sit there and act like, I ain't got nothing to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and harass my workers. Wait, how come my workers don't show up for work? They don't show up for work because they don't have time for that bullshit. They don't have time to be lied to about all this other stuff. They don't have time to be mistreated and put down, or stupid rules to come into play that tell you how to stock a box or not. You know what I'm saying? And, because we're getting closer to the holiday season, now they really done lost their minds. Because in certain places, they don't even want to play the Christmas music no more. And that could be a blessing or a curse for some people. You see, it's a blessing because, you don't have the same songs droning on, but it's a curse because sometimes you tend to forget, like, certain things. Like, I don't know about you, but I almost forgot that Christmas was coming. Until I noticed all the turkeys being displayed out there. And then I was like, hey, okay. First off, all this stuff is just lies here because at the end of the day, people are making it seem like we're going to run out of turkeys. And I know this, never running out of no turkeys. Not around this time. And then I also noticed, like, nobody is showing any holiday cheer. If they ever did, the music probably would have helped a little bit because, music is the universal language. So, like, if Rudolph's playing, everybody starts saying, oh, hey, it's Rudolph. Let's go ahead and sing to this song a little bit. I mean, if you hear it about the 5th time of the day, you'd be like, dang, I got to take Rudolph out back and shoot him, man. Like, can't they play something else? I understand that, but, at least it was something that we united in complaining about. Now that it's not there anymore, it's kind of like there's a piece of the puzzle missing. And with that gone, there's no completion here. And that's kind of how I felt about the real world for a little bit. Oh, let's not forget. Yeah, so I see our government out there is still playing football with our lives because they really don't know what to do with number 45 and his quid pro quo and his call out there to Ukraine to get information on Joe Biden. At the end of the day, Trump has been campaigning since he became, the 45th president. Not by my choice, but a lot of y'all out there really liked what he said. I don't care because, like I said, years of studying and knowing about this guy, much like anybody else that runs things, I don't have a trust for authority. So I always look and see, like, how certain people are, you know what I'm saying? And I just never saw Donald Trump as a leader of anybody outside of his own industry. And even then, it was questionable about what his industry was in the 90s because he was losing money. So when you really think about it, it's like we have to use responsibility when we pick these things. But since he's in there and he's got those people in there and barely a cabinet now and a bunch of other things that don't make any sense, like I'm sure you've noticed how certain things have increased in price during the tariff scenario because apparently he thinks the more tariffs he imposed, the more he's squeezing the hell out of the countries he's imposing them on. No, that's not how it works. As a matter of fact, we're paying more for that tariff. So, if your piece of beef went up this week, you know why. But that's only if you really take the time to know about trade. Now, some people, like I said, not everybody is faltering and floundering about in the times of Trump. Like I said, some people thrive in certain economies. There are people out there, there's a particular hostess I know is thriving in the Trump economy. I look at that and I'm like, good on her, but what about everybody else? You see what I'm saying? And you see everybody else, they got their issue too. And then you look at the promises that are being made. And this is for this upcoming election. Right now, this upcoming election looks like a real crap show too, like for right now. Even though Bernie's there, but how long is Bernie going to be there? Because he just had a procedure for his heart. And I don't know about you, but this political stuff can be very stressful. Especially when it's somebody who is in their peak twilight days. So, I don't know if I can bet on him. I mean, I would like to see Tulsi Gabbard do it, but you see, the thing is, they won't let her debate or compete like anything, and they said there's something else about it, but you got to realize this. When it comes to politicians in general, or when it comes to people who are in these public spaces, they all got stuff with them, because they're no different than you or me. And we all have stuff with us too, right? Think about it now. Be honest with yourself. And if you really are honest with yourself, you know I'm right. And it's to the point now where it's like, quit playing games with our lives. Because right now, it looks like a scenario of a 3-part set of issues. I know there's going to be another controversial issue that'll show up once we get to the horns of the election next year. You know what I mean? When it's Trump, because honestly, do you think he's going to be impeached and taken out of office? Do you really think so? Because if you do, I mean, it's possible, but very unlikely. He'll get impeached, but he's probably going to serve out the rest of this year. You know why? Because it is such a mess over there right now. No one person is going to take the time to clean that up, male or female. Not yet. Not yet at all. Matter of fact, he might still be sitting in there after all this stuff blows over. And then it comes up to what the next controversial item of the week is going to be. Because, you know, there's always going to be something that pops up. And it's going to take us away from the attention from the powers that be. Because it usually does. Like, even if, like, say, like, the whole Mueller report. What good came out of that? Not much. Too much confusion, too much talking, and not a clear resolution. And for the people that brought you the Mueller report, here comes the impeachment hearings. And the impeachment hearings is like this. Much like any sort of bridge movie, you know, you have expectations, but you know it's going to lead to a third event. And that third event right there is still yet to be determined. But you kind of have a feeling that it's not going to go the way you want it to. Like, Empire Strikes Back, for instance. Didn't really go the way a lot of people wanted it to. It went into a pretty good direction to fulfill its role as a center point as a successful sequel. Kind of like Terminator 2 as well. But if you're one of those people that hated The Matrix Reloaded, come on, you knew Matrix Revolutions was coming. And if you're like the people like me who look at the impeachment hearings and say, well, this is just another waste of my tax dollars, then you're looking forward to the third installment, which will become Election 20, where one way or another, we hope that it's going to be a successful outcome to all this nonsense. And that's how I feel about it right now. I mean, yeah, sure, they got Roger Stone on all of his counts, but at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking this, it's like, it's still a mess over here. You got people out there that still won't do the right thing. And you got a barely functional group over there. It's so sad. Well, no, it's not even sad anymore. It's depressing. But hey, this ain't a political-based episode. Matter of fact, this is in reference to the J-Man Show episode 1, if you think about it. You know, where I talk about things that were enjoyable, and then I talk about the politics for a little bit, because, hey, I live in the world. And, yeah, man, I listened to that episode before I started working on this one, and not much has changed, though I almost had a co-host at one time. But I think he'll do better in another show. But, my God, man, nothing has really changed yet. And then I look at Joe Biden, and I'm like, gee, is he going to last? And I look at Kamala Harris, and I'm like, I don't want her to be president. So, you know, when you really look at it, it looks like a Dick Tracy Rogues Gallery all over again. And, whew, good luck digging ourselves out of this hole. Meanwhile, though, Disney Plus has landed, and some people love it or hate it, but from what I've seen, a lot of people do love it, and they're posting memes of Netflix being lonely by itself, and it's like, you know, for the longest time, do you guys really think Netflix is going to go under the table? Do you really think so? Netflix has Stranger Things, Black Mirror, Creeped Out, and among other shows that they're actually working on themselves. Now, they're going to change their format a little bit. There's going to be, you know, episodes that come out weekly instead of, like, a whole lot that you can binge off of. And a lot of y'all were right behind that saying, well, Disney Plus is doing that. I'm okay with the idea that, you know, I don't have to binge anymore. I don't have to get the whole season set or nothing. I just go ahead and I just look at it week to week to week. I think that's cool. You know, I see shills do this all the time. And, you know, while it's cool to have options and stuff, you weren't about this crap. Hey, you know this. You notice this, right? Because, see, that same brown-nosing person will always show up on any sort of comment board there is. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's cool that Disney Plus is trying to utilize their own way of providing streaming content. And you notice that every single network is getting their own streaming center anyway. So as you look at the streaming apps, you always sit here and think this, okay, well, which one am I going to deal with? And you don't have to look too far, because if you already got Disney Plus in a certain package with it, you can go ahead and get Hulu and ESPN Plus and all that stuff if you want to. I just got regular Disney Plus. I don't watch ESPN anymore. It's trash. I really shouldn't say that, because I'm probably throwing torches at a future job, but, I'll live. But you see, from what I can tell, I mean, it looked like it's built on the same ground as Netflix. Like, you go right on it and you find any sort of piece of content you want. Now, there is a lot of Disney content, and why shouldn't there be? They own everything, just about. I went on there, saw certain movies that I love to see. 101 Dalmatians is on here, among other areas. Like, and then you got the best of Pixar, Star Wars, The Mandalorian. And will you all quit calling that thing Baby Yoda? It's not Baby Yoda. It's from the same species as Yoda. We don't know what the hell that is, but still. Actually, I shouldn't be saying all that. It's funny as I don't know what, because, yeah, it technically is, but, I just had to say it because I'm a hater. Now, but I can't hate on this, though. The Mandalorian alone is doing so much better than what the sequel trilogy was supposed to have been. And I'm loving it. It's dealing with the Outer Rims. It's dealing with somebody else that's just doing his job. Or her job. His job, really, but you know what I mean. Hello, feminists. Yes. I hate you all, too. Now, back to what I was saying. But yeah, though, I mean, he's doing his job. And that should be every episode. And that's supposed to be his bounty to take care of. This might actually be good. And then the first 2 episodes ain't bad. I can't wait to see what episode 3 is going to turn out to be. And then, of course, I get to sit back, and since I'm an avid animation collector, I get to sit back and I look at all the Mickey Mouse cartoons I missed out on. That was pretty wise. I mean, I didn't think Disney Plus was going to blow up like that. I knew it was going to be great, but then I could go ahead and switch over to watch The Lion King, switch over to watch Pinocchio, Fantasia. Both Fantasias are on there. And I heard there's supposed to be a big thing that Disney's going to do at Fantasia, too, so I hope they stick to Walt's idea, because Fantasia was supposed to be like a set of a series. So if they go ahead and they do sort of thing, if they go ahead and do certain things like that, that's going to have my money for a while. Of course, though, I remember when I was boycotting, that was during my hater phase, because they were about to lose my favorite hero, and Iron Man dead, and Captain America's old, and I just couldn't live with it no more. You know what I mean? So I went through my hater phase. I should apologize. I should. But then again, I didn't do anything wrong. So I was taking my stance. You know what I'm saying? I was taking my stance. Yeah, and then I totally went ahead about face as soon as they got Spider-Man back for one more film. I'm totally okay with it. Not to mention other appearances. So, yeah, I was like, oh, we good now. And we definitely are, because I don't see myself getting rid of my Disney Plus subscription. Matter of fact, I need to go to the store and go get my Lion King and Aladdin video game collection here for the Xbox 360. Or, no, not Xbox 360, Xbox One. I've been doing a lot of retro gaming over the week, too. Matter of fact, I wonder, there's some PlayStation 3 games I missed out on, which I need to go and make a list about. And certain things for J360 TV are still being developed, so try to keep the stuff under wraps. But I'll tell you what, as I look at it right now, this is the best purchase I could have done. Especially just by sitting back here and watching the notes come to life in Fantasia. And then Fantasia 2000 too. That's the one with Donald Duck building the ark and everything. So, yeah, this was well worth it. And not to mention, I saw the Herbie series too. You know that little love bug car? I don't care what any of y'all say. Herbie is epic. Shoot. Of course, though, that 4th film, you could tell they should have stopped there. And I didn't really care for Lindsay Lohan and Herbie Fully Loaded. Anyways, moving on. About the Monster Fest. Now, see, I had a plan for the Monster Fest. It was supposed to end on November 6th. But to be honest with you guys, I mean, I really had to take a break from everything. So, yeah. And we will tie that loose end, because you know why? Because as we get closer to Christmas, you'll realize a lot of the movies that I had on the listing there, they also function as Christmas movies. So, just because we're going into Jolly Time doesn't mean it can't be a little bit of a horror in there. So, to tie it all on, we will go ahead and we will look into those little monsters such as gremlins. Go ahead and hang out with the Krites a little bit over on Critters. Even though you could probably say Critters is not a Christmas movie, but to hell with your standards, this is my show. Now, I will say this much. Just going to focus on Gremlins 1 and 2, and then we'll focus on Critters 1. I mean, yeah, the other ones, they were entertaining in their own right, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the time to sit through all those, so I figured, hey, just work with Critters 1. And then while we're at it, we could go ahead and throw a little bit of Leprechaun in there. Because green matches green, that's why. Call it the Convergence, where all sorts of holidays come together at one, because I just don't have the time, nor the care and concern, to go ahead and make a special for all of them. But then again, this actually works for the J-Man Holiday Fest. I was going to call it the Christmas Fest, but we have to be PC these days, because if we're not that way, everybody will start to say, he's not thinking about my holiday, he's not thinking about my holiday, he's not thinking about my holiday. And you know what? To be honest, they're right. I'm thinking about mine. And I managed to get enough eggnog for the holiday season, in addition to, no, I didn't buy the turkey yet. Nope, not in a rush to buy that. Probably get the ham first, but then again, who eats ham in this house? Just little things to think about. Other than that, though, let's see, what else do I have on the itinerary? Oh, yeah. Let's see. My game picks are, let's see, Aladdin and the Lion King. That is definitely a game pick this week. And your second game pick this week will be... See, how crazy was I when I wrote this? Don't worry about that second game pick, man, because it didn't come out yet. And I've noticed a lot of people... didn't say anything about Shenmue, so... But Shenmue 3 does come out this month. So I'm excited to see that. After all, it's been, about 10 to 20 years of waiting on this? And what's ironic about that game? It's left open for another one. So how long... Oh, geez, man. How long do we all have to wait until there's a real resolution to this game series, Because I know it's supposed to lead into more mystical and monsters around there and stuff. I know it's supposed to lead to that. Because you have the Phoenix Mirror and the Dragon Mirror. But I'm trying to think, where Yu Shizuki is going to go with this whole thing in the end. And I mean, a lot of y'all probably think of the same thing, too, because these guys are old now, And it makes you think, well, if you really are going to win us back, I can understand that you want to make some more money off the name and everything. But, that resolution, though, we kind of need it, because if you go, who's going to be the understudy to take your place? And who's going to actually have the fortitude to finish this thing? I mean, because I think Yakuza, as far as I know, actually has a solid conclusion to it, right? Because, I mean, I do have the first one. I still need to get... Well, hell, I mean, before you guys say I'm left behind, I know I need to go ahead and get the other installments. I duly noted I do have it already reserved for me to buy it. It's just... the greenbacks, y'all. The greenbacks. And while I have been gone, I've been working on building another studio here, so... Yep. Things are looking up, and then hopefully I can get my music programs to start working again. So yeah, in addition to, working on my career and everything here, I'm also keeping an eye on my video game habit, too. Because that's going to be very important once J360 TV rolls around. But, I gotta admit this, y'all, and no sarcasm and no profanity included, I did miss being back here behind the mic talking to you. I mean, I couldn't take a break worth a damn, y'all. I mean, I was sitting there and I was like, gee, God, I feel like getting on the mic, but no, I gotta take a vacation. I gotta chill out a little bit. Man, I need to recoup. But you see, the thing is about certain workaholics and stuff, you just won't want to do that, and the first thing I did on my vacation was read a book on creating comics. I just can't help it. I'm a content creator. It's like, one way or another, I just can't tone it all off. I have to build something. I have to actually actively work on a few things. And I see my sketchbook looking at me right now. And like, as soon as I get off the show, I might go ahead and work on a few things. Like a mascot for J360 Productions in general. It's been tugging at me for years. I mean, I just need to really get on it. And I will. Tonight even. But, hey, I already talked your ear off enough, and it's good to be back here behind y'all. And you see, this will be the start of a new season, so that's right. 127 is in the bag. 128 is coming next week. And until then, you all take care of yourselves, and don't get in a fight over chicken sandwiches. It's just not worth it. This is the J-Man signing off. Peace.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.